that you follow the channel here. So hit that follow button and make sure that you check out YouTube, which is linked in the description. Battlefield of Eternity could theoretically be the last map of the day. NaVi is currently down 1 game in the best of 5 series. Fnatic is in the lead with a 2-1, so if they take it here, then we have the victory. Then they are the Heroes Battle Arena champion. And we'll have, of course, our bans happening again. Battlefield of Eternity, a 2-lane map, switches things up sometimes a bit, but still ETC is a very solid ban here at the start. We've seen that a lot. There's a tendency to actually ban him out since Tyrande, Kel'Thas, Falstad are usually fought over. And in this case, Fnatic is just saying, okay, listen, there's no way that we are going to give you Tyrande. We don't want to end up against a stun combo. When those Immortal fights are starting, we want to make sure that this is not going to happen. NaVi is going for the poke, and they go straight for Kel'Thas. Fnatic with the immediate lockdown on Falstad and Muradin. Two of the most solid heroes, especially with ETC banned out. Muradin is of course a huge priority. He is the best frontliner here when it comes to sustain and also survivability. Not only is he very, very tanky, but he can also easily jump out of harm's way. And NaVi has a huge commitment here to Uther and Thrall. That Uther doesn't really surprise in this situation. That they commit to Thrall is probably because we did see a lot of Thrall bans on the second ban, and they know that if they don't pick Thrall now, he is very likely to be banned out by Fnatic again. When we're talking about potential Uther combos with the one melee assassin, or at least like a damage-heavy frontliner, then Thrall and Sonya are the top picks. Fnatic, they can in this case still ban out one of the... well, they can ban out one of the frontliners, I suppose, if they want to get rid of that. They ban out Zagara, so this time they don't want to run with the Zagara anymore. We have NaVi now with the ban on their own, and of course there's a couple of heroes they can try and get rid of. Tassadar was played very successfully by Fnatic already in the past, so they could try and make sure that this is not going to happen again. We haven't really seen a Karazim, for example, in the entire series yet, so no Monk until now. Well, we haven't seen him yet, but we could for Fnatic. Other heroes, of course, that are also shining here. We are talking again about Jaina, Vala, and Reyna. All of these heroes have a bit of poke, depending on the build that they go for. And oftentimes you end up in a bit of a stalemate situation in Battlefield of Eternity, and that where mages are quite powerful. So a Jaina could be played here, but as I said, Tassadar was very successful for Fnatic, and that's why NaVi, they agree, and they ban him out immediately and say like, alright, this time no Tassadar for you, the extra vision on the map, all those shields that you can preload, we don't want to go up against this, so let's get rid of him. And of course the escape is another reason why you don't really want to play against the Tassadar. If there's a good Tassadar player after level... sometimes even with deep shift, after level like 13, 16, taking him down is not easy. So Fnatic, with the setup that they have here, they could decide to go into a Jaina. They don't have to commit to her right away. There's a couple of options how they can play this. One of the heroes that they could rely upon is, of course, once again, is Sonya. Sonya is a bit of a counterplay at the front line. They go for the Diablo, and with Diablo we could see again Apocalypse, and that changes things just slightly. A Jaina is, of course, still possible. Not necessarily right now, but he can go into the stun after stun setup. I wonder if at some point we're really going to see a Diablo with a Zeratul again for that Void Prism into Apocalypse, which was a big deal before people tended to go more into a Zagara plus Diablo composition to achieve the same thing, since of course it's a little bit easier with Zagara and the timing doesn't have to be as crisp. But I wonder if that's going to happen at some point. I don't expect it here, but still. So Diablo is being played. Tyrande was banned out, and we have the Karazim that I was talking about now actually committed to. So that's already going to be a nice frontliner. Still wondering if they would consider going into another melee hero. We have seen that a couple of times now already, and Fnatic has used that on Infernal Shrines. And talking melees, we have a Nubrak and Tyrael plus Thrall. If that's not aggressive, then I don't know what is. That is a very, very aggressive lineup, and NaVi loves to play Nubarak with Cocoon. I was actually very surprised that they didn't use it yet. They used so far mostly Diablo, but that Nubarak is one of Alex's favorite heroes next to, of course, Leoric. And with Cocoon, they can isolate heroes quite easily here. So this is going to become a very fun match. I mean, either way, this is going to be cool. A Nubarak, Thrall, and Tyrael at the front line. If you have those three up against you, this is so much initiate. I mean, you can jump in with a little Druid Smite. Theoretically, you could go for Judgment, which we kind of never see. But still, a Druid Smite alone already gives you the aggression. A Nubarak with a Burrow Charge, Thrall jumping in too. And well, Fnatic, how are they going to react to this? They react with that Sonya that we've been talking about. They do it. They actually commit to her again, and I like that. This is going to be a massive frontline brawl now, with Kalithas in the backline of Navi dishing out the damage and Falstad trying to accomplish the same thing for Fnatic. And of course, with his build that he is going for, he will have extra damage against most of these heroes later on after 13, after Giant Killer. Guys, this is going to be a great game. It might be the last one. If it is the last one, it's going to be a worthy one, I'm sure. And if not, then we're going to see a 5th game between the two of them. Here at the Heroes Battle Arena, powered by Twitch and G2A, and we're going to go straight into our 4th match on Battlefield of Eternity. I catch myself smiling the entire time because I'm loving these drafts that we're seeing. They are absolutely awesome. They're really, really, really fun. I like this. I love the new meta. Like the diversity that we have in picks these days is great. And just like seeing all of this happen, Diablo coming back with an Apocalypse, and Nubarak being played again. I mean, it is absolutely awesome. It is really great. It's pretty cool to see that. Okay, so that being said, the lobby is up. Players have not committed to anything yet, but meaning we don't have the hero selection up. But yeah, let's see. Give me 1 second. Oops. I have a vertical mouse now because of those shoulder issues and because it's a little bit healthier. In case that you don't know what that is, let me show you real quick, because there's one thing that's a bit of a problem. It's actually like a bit used already. Like this is like a vertical mouse, like you hold her like this, and that helps because you don't have like this angle. Helps with like shoulder issues and like this repetitive strain thing. The problem is there's a back button right here on the top, and sometimes I just move my arm over, I hit that thing, and then I end up in like reversing what I just did, which can be really annoying. So yeah. The 4th game, and potentially the last game. Battlefield of Eternity, the grand final of the Heroes Battle Arena, goes into the next match, and we have a best-of-5 series here on our hands with the lead for Fnatic, with a 2-1 against NaVi, securing that lead on the last map on Tomb of the Spider Queen. Now to the left side, we have a hyper-aggressive setup for NaVi. Alex the Pro G on Anubarak, Eternal on Thrall, Crosby on Kalthas, Zarmany on Tyrael, and Gran Paquete on Uther. 3 heroes that love nothing more than jumping into the opponent's backline. And to the right side of the map, Fnatic is countering that with Breeze on Diablo, Wooby on Muradin, we have Smexy style on Karazim, Main on Falstad, and Quacknix is playing Sonya. So it is going to be a very heavy melee setup that we are now seeing for the teams. It's gonna be a massive brawl. Already the talents that we are seeing here, the Soul Fields taken for Diablo. Earlier on it was a block that they committed to, but in this case they are more worried about the regeneration than anything else. We have Rolling Thunder taken for the at least the approach into a Chain Lightning build. On this map, Season Marksman, not really the most craziest talent. I mean, you can go into the Lightning build here. We've seen for Thrall several builds. Green Jesus is very diverse in the way that he can be played. Double Chain Lightning on 1 and 4, for example, heading straight into the Wind Fury build afterwards, the 7, 13, and 16, and a full Chain Lightning build, adding that level 16 talent as well for Chain Lightning with a level 7 follow-through, are probably the most common builds right now, but there's a couple of hybrids that you can play as well, so you definitely have options. Mede currently down to the bottom lane on his Falstad and is going to rock this now. We're having as the heal with Transcendence on level 1, Karazim, the Monk played for the first time today, especially in this series now. The Love Bug on the carpet, and Alex, of course, going... I suppose that he's going into Cocoon, since that's one of his priority talents on the hero. I love that Navi does that, by the way. Most of the other teams that you currently see in the Heroes of the Storm scene are still playing with the Locust Swarm, which is a great talent if you need sustain, of course. But still, it's awesome to see that Cocoon coming in play. For now, we have a double Regeneration Master on 2 of the frontliners, Anubarak and Tyrael, and we see the Conjurer's Pursuit talent taken as well. So a lot... Oh, once again, Crosby in a bit of trouble here to the left. Navi, they start to move away. Quacknix already on the move back. Kalthas, of course, is going to be quite brutal against the Savage. It's one of the problems that Fnatic might have at some point. Kalthas thrives when your opponent is clustered up, and with 4 melees, this is going to definitely be the case. So when it comes to that backliner, I would give Navi a bit of an edge over the Falstad play that we're going to see from Mele. Foresight, of course, is going to benefit greatly from that level 13 talent giant killer with this many tanks in play, but we don't really have the most hit point heavy tanks now on the side of Navi, and the really important part is just like the clustering that we could see later on. Karazim, of course, is going to try and avoid as more. There's already an approach for Zarmany. Karazim has to jump in again. Zarmany low, and he's dropped. Great kill here. Quacknix is also now getting hit, of course, by the arterial explosion, but I don't think he minds too much. And Grand Paquette is completely zoned, and now they are moving in for another potential kill, and they are going to get this. A double kill for Fnatic, and the story here is just so great. Underking again as the level 4 talent for Alex. He usually plays it on a Nubarak, and it gives him, of course, a huge range on this. But what I absolutely love about this is that in the last few games, or last few series that we saw Fnatic play against Navi, they always lost. And right now, of course, they want to make sure that they still count as the strongest teams in Europe. The dynamic that we have in the European scene these days is absolutely amazing. We had, of course, the teams reforming after Prague. And we're going to talk about this in a second, because for now we are having the Immortal bursted down. And again, Diablo moving in, this time against the Nubarak, but might not end up in a kill for Fnatic. They're pushing everybody away. Yeah, Fnatic needed to rotate back, and now they might lose Quacknix. They don't, because he goes straight with the spear for the camp. Without the mystical spear, of course, you still have to go for a hit, and he hits the minions. Well done there. Great move on his part. And of course, the rotation towards that Immortal again. They just weld up. They can rotate down to the bot lane and maybe get Crosby. Crosby, nice. Gravity Lapse is saving him, at least for now. Whoopi is making a couple of plays there, whereas the rest of the team is still like on lane, getting experience, trying to keep a few of the players for Navi in this position. Zarmany also attacked right now. Okay, Immortal starts to come in again with a stun. Gets bursted down as we have the lockdown against Sonya. Quacknix gets away. Healing from Karazim is enough, and this is a great Immortal now for them. But can they save Sonya? They can, and they might be able to also take down Zarmany again. And yeah, that's looking good. Crosby's about to drop. He's down. It's another double kill, and Fnatic taking a serious lead here in this game now. 4 kills against 0. They want more than that. They already move in again, and Grand Paquette is not the next target. It is Thrall. Green Jesus is down. It's a triple kill. Wow, Fnatic really, really rocking the best of 5 right now. But of course, the cool part about this once again is that after Prague, the teams reformed. Team Liquid was looking very strong and started to dominate for a long, long time. Then we had Fnatic with a new setup, or a new lineup that they introduced as well, and the battle between Team Liquid and Fnatic started, and it was on. These teams going up against each other and dropping maps, dropping series. But Fnatic getting a bit of an upper hand there. Nobody really knew at that point how strong the new Dignitas lineup would be, that formed from players from Dignitas and Navi, both of the teams that went to BlizzCon. But then as we saw Navi coming, so Dignitas coming back, they actually started to lose their first series. Of course, they are still a lineup that is still very young and needs a bit more experience to really fulfill their full potential, as they have not really played together for as that long. But when you look at Navi, for example, who just also formed a new setup and then started to immediately take great series against Team Liquid and also against Fnatic, they looked like they could be the kings in Europe. But with Fnatic now not only taking the lead in this best of 5, but also threatening to take the best of 5 series entirely and the grand final, this entire dynamic is completely getting out of hands, and I'm loving it. It's just a fight for the #1 spot in Europe, and the top 3 or the top 4, they're completely going for it. It's beautiful to just see all of this happen, and it's a lot of fun to watch these teams striving for the crown. Right now with the level 7 talents, we have indeed the follow-through taken for... Whoopi! No, cannot jump away. But, well, at the same time, Alex the Pro G is making good use of the Underking at the top lane and barely escaping there after taking the Urticating Spines on level 7 and therefore securing himself that extra AoE damage. Falstad flying down immediately. He needs to be careful that he doesn't get jumped or locked down, but more than the wall is not achievable for the opponent. So Navi, they have to retreat. They went into follow-through, by the way, for the follow-through build, and you don't necessarily need to go for the Chain Lightning on level 4. It gives you additional hits against 2 more targets, which is pretty sweet, but it's more about like really spamming out the abilities, since this is of course where you capitalize on, since you are trying to always use one of your auto tags afterwards. And the level 16 talent is going to become very important for that. But for now, what they are thinking about, of course, is the level 10 talent in particular, since that would give them a massive lead for the fight here as the Immortal spawns again. And they should be able to secure that, and that would be a guaranteed Immortal for them, more or less, unless they lose a hero before the fight starts and end up in a 4 versus 5. But right now, we have an amazing position here for Fnatic. They go in, they're going to drop that level 10. It's going to hit any second now. Quacknix is there. Up at the top lane, we see Falstad versus Anubarak. It's a bit of a back and forth, but now the level 10 is in play with the Mighty Gust, with also Apocalypse chosen again. Yeah, there's no leap this time, but it is the Wrath of the Berserker. Makes sense. Very sustainable talent here too. And they have an entire level lead, and they can go now for the Immortal Burst, and that's exactly what they're trying to do. Up at the top, Alex the Pro G going up against Whoopi. Whoopi is trying to make sure that they get the lane experience as well, but he can't die. Has to jump out. And he takes the tower down as well. Immortal is already in half health, and Breeze and his boys, they are moving in. They try to take down Crosby, and they zone him out and take him apart again. Great kill here. Great kill, and they don't stop there. They actually go instead straight for that wall and at least try to take one more tower before the level 10 ability hits for Navi, and they get that wish granted. They're still very far ahead, and they don't even stop after the first one. They go straight for the second one before they move away. Level 10, soon enough now for the opponent, and with level 10 versus level 10, you can go for the Immortal again. If this one is bursted down now, though, by Fnatic as well, then it's nightmare scenario for the opponent. Alex the Pro G and his guys are starting to rush in now with Sundering taken, as expected, the Cocoon for Alex on Anubarak. And we have, of course, Sanctification plus Divine Shield now. Great defensive abilities. But with all the well up, we see again Fnatic moving in. They jump out. Chain bombs after level 13 are going to be very difficult, but right now they can still handle them. So once again, we're seeing them moving in. They get in position. They're trying to go for a bit of a setup. Where's the Apocalypse? Going to be used any second right now. Already Divine Shield being used. They go straight in, but Breeze is in trouble. Cocoon has been used. Fawcett is isolated. Blows them away. Apocalypse therefore not really doing anything. And Whoopi is... oh, he's actually completely surrounded. Gets the Divine Palm. It gets triggered in the last second. Immortal is taken. Whoopi jumps away. It's going to buy some time. He won't be able to do much more than that. In the end, he falls. It's the first kill, the second kill actually, for Team Navi. But right now, as you can already tell, we have a massive, massive model down at the bot lane. 100% shields, and this is going to be the end of the fort at least. The fort is going to be taken. You can't prevent that. They need to be careful, of course, with 4 heroes against 5, but Thrall is at the top lane, and they know that, so they end up in a 4 versus 4 situation anyways. Nice engage here by Diablo. Breeze went deep for this one. Zarmany stunned him out for a couple of seconds, but you don't want to fight on the Immortal, but they're buying a ton of time with it, of course. Sundering maybe as an initiate. Nah, they need to deal with the Immortal first. Whoopi is already on the way back as well. The fort is already down, and the damage is real. I mean, these guys are playing a great game here. Navi feels pressured right now, and usually they are the ones to execute all that pressure play and really go straight in for the kills. And with the setup that they're running here, they have a massive engage potential. So they're currently trying to just use that to snipe a target, but they're still waiting, and this Immortal goes through the wall again, and that drops the level 13 talent after the 2 tower kills right into the hands of Fnatic, who are of course trying to capitalize on it by taking down the keep now. Again, the damage talent for Quacknix on his Sonya gets Gravity Lapse, but they're trying to isolate Alex the Pro G. They don't get that, but they kill the keep. Well done here. Cocoon used and immediately destroyed. They move away, and that death was definitely worth it. Great, great play here by Fnatic, and they are way ahead now. Level 13 talent, a keep annihilated 10 minutes in. This looks very much like Fnatic is trying to execute revenge for the losses that they suffered at the hands of Navi lately. At the top lane, Quacknix and Mena, they go in for another camp. And of course, with this massive lead and experience, they are already aiming for level 16, as we are still far away from level 13 for Navi. Navi now moving down to the bot lane. They could take one of their own camps now. Didn't really get an opportunity to get too much done yet. Fawcett already with a giant killer. That's going to make it very difficult for the front line on Navi to really sustain throughout the battle. But keep that level 13 in talent. I mean, as good as the position is right now for Fnatic, that level 13 talent is going to be a problem because Kalthus will hit the chain bombs. And that is really when Fnatic is going to have a huge amount of problems if they cluster up with this very melee heavy setup. They go and steal a camp away. Navi can't really take care of it because, well, of course, the level 13 talents, 2 level lead as well, stat advantage. It's all that they need now, and it looks like they're even thinking about going up to the top lane again to maybe push that in together with the Kasra camp that was taken earlier and use it to go straight for the keep. If they can get the second keep, I mean, that would be a disaster. Level 13 is all that Navi wants now. They want level 13. All that they're doing right now is saying, like, God, please give us these chain bombs finally. So again, we have the pressure, and this is looking like it's going to drop another key potentially. Quacknix is going in. They go deep for this one. They want it. They get it. The only question is, will they be able to get away here? They are starting to move back. Divine Palm is still available. They have also the Apocalypse Rift that can be used. Here comes the kill potentially against Swoopy. Divine Palm has been used, but he dies. It's a bit too early. And now with 4 heroes, they have to move away. Level 13 talent taken for both. The Immortal actually helping out. And at this point, yeah, we still see a level 5. We still have a couple of heroes. I'm not really with the fight just yet, but they go in again. Quacknix is isolated. Thanks to the Sundering. I don't even know why Fnatic fought there in the first place. But now they have 2 heroes down, level 13 talents already. 2 keeps are eliminated, which is the big, big lead that they definitely have. Even a 100 shield Immortal for Navi would not do more than go through the fort. I don't think that they have the opportunity to take a keep with this, especially since Fnatic is, of course, heading straight into their level 16 talents already. But the fight is still starting, and so far, Navi hasn't really won that Immortal yet. So the fight is still going on. We have level 16 versus 13 in a bit, but for now it's even talents, and that means that we are having Grace of Air taken, Burning Rage, and also the Chain Bombs, the most important talent for them right now. Chain Bombs are going to be totally crucial. Here at the back, heroes had to move back the entire time, defending, trying to make sure that these lanes are not pushing too far. And I have to give Fnatic some credit, even with even talents and the situation that they were in, being down to heroes. They are able to reach roughly 50% on the Immortal at the same time as their opponent. So this is looking still very, very strong here. Damage already happening. Once again, they go for Diablo. There's also the Phoenix committed for the zoning. Breeze has to move away, and he's jumped again. Mighty Gust saves him for now, but maybe not just quite. There's still, of course, the Cocoon that is available. There comes Quacknix rushing away in the last second. Whoopi isolated from the rest of the team. So they have Cocoon, they have Sundering, all of the rogues are still up, and it looks like Fnatic, at least for now, is letting this one go. They're close to level 16, they don't want to risk anything. They have Whoopi still there, just posturing around, trying to bait a bit, maybe isolate a target, but it's all about the level 16 talent at this point. And the core is, of course, being attacked already. I mean, with this early, all of the keeps missing, it basically only means that these catapults are starting to become a huge menace. At the top lane, the camp is also pushing in, so what Fnatic can do is just move up to the top, try to take down the Immortal as fast as they can, and for Navi, it's going to be very, very tricky actually to push in with the Immortal, because they will have to defend those lanes as well, and they do that. Kel'Thas is still behind, but that means that the shield is lost before anything else happens, and the level 16 talents are now ready, which gives Rampage into the hands of Fnatic on Diablo, and we're seeing the Stone Bomb to have even more sustain for Muradin, with now also Circle of Life taken. A great talent, also if you want to negate the Chain Bomb damage. Because with Chain Bombs, you are clustered up if you receive the most damage, and that also means that Circle of Life does even more extra heal. Hammer Time taken and Furious Blow. If you go for the level 13 talent with the Aftershock, then of course Furious Blow on level 16 is the weapon of choice. It's cool to see that Quacknix is willing to really commit to the damage and does not in this case go for the Nerves of Steel. With the damage commitment that they have now, and of course also that Fury increase on level 16, you have to use the Aftershock on level 13 so that you can really just get those slams out. If you look at the experience then, on the other hand, forts are, by the way, still up, right? Forts are still in the game, but look at the experience. 15.5 to 16. So the advantage that Fnatic has is not going to last for too much longer. They still have a bit of a lead, but they're already up against that level 13 talent. And once level 16 is hit, this is the time when Fnatic or when Navi is really going to try and make their plays. Kel'Thas has already 35,000 damage, even though they were pressured the entire time. So that kind of tells you the story here. If you look at the damage potential or the output on the side of Fnatic, it's mostly like that single target damage that we're seeing, thanks to heroes like Falstad, Sonya, of course, with a bit of AoE, but still more on-point damage that she uses. And they don't have those damage numbers, but they have the damage numbers on point, and it really helps them. But they won't be able to fight again before the level 16 talent is ready for Navi, and this is really when Navi is going to try and make some plays there. It's Immortal time again, and with all of those keeps already taken down, we all know what that means. Once you get another Immortal with a lot of shields, it's very, very difficult to not die, to not lose the game. So the pressure play that we are seeing on the side of Fnatic, it is immense. But with 16 versus 16, this is the opportunity that Navi was waiting for. They played a patient game after they got completely crushed in the early game of the match. But now we have Blood for Blood taken for Nubarak. We have also, again, Tempest Fury taken on level 16. Arcane Barrier, Benediction and Holy Ground. And now the fight is starting for real. Immortal is being attacked already. Fnatic is dropping in points, and they can't just slow this down. they can slow it down. They have a camp pushing at the top lane, so as long as they don't die, they can just slow the entire fight down and force Na'Vi to send someone back to defend. The problem is that Whoopi is isolated again. I have no idea what he's doing up there. Gets already... Okay, he was going deep, moved back, is able to escape, at least for now. Whoopi is in play. They need to retreat there. Cocoon and Sundering used at the same target. That was unfortunate. Divine Pump triggers. Sonya is alive. There's the stun thanks to the Apocalypse. They're going in again. Divine Shield on Thrall, and Thrall is starting to make the plays here. Mighty Gust used so that they can retreat. Whoopi in the back line. We have Breeze already zoned out thanks to the Holy Ground as Zarmi jumps in, but Tyrael is dead. So is Crosby. A double kill against Na'Vi, and this might be game. They go for Eternal next, and Eternal is also dying. Grand Paquette about to be eliminated, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is GG. GG, well played, already called. Alex is moving away, and Fnatic is not even bothering with that Immortal anymore. They are saying, like, why would we go for that? Let's go for the core. A few of the shields are already lost. Mena is moving in. Alex is trying to just, like, prevent it, but there's just lanes pushing in from everywhere. This is going to be a 3-1-4 now for the Fnatic against Na'Vi. They take the series, and they are the Heroes Battle Arena champion in Season 1. Great play here. A 3-1 victory for Fnatic against Na'Vi. Well done, well played, and congratulations to an impressive performance here on Battlefield of Eternity.